So after I discussed originally the situation with Rely Fund and Yield Robot, I decided honestly to continue the series because one, it's been fun for me. I like to dig on-chain data and try to retrace things and see where things are a bit shady. And also it's good to have exposure on YouTube when it comes to scammy or soon to be scammy projects so people can be aware and can get ahead of the curve in regards to if, for example, this project is still ongoing or still trying to get new investors, for them to be aware that okay, this is not it, you should stay away from this. And the next one on my list was Myst. This one actually took a bit longer than usual because the Telegram channel, for example, is still running and they're still claiming that everything is okay, their product is actually legit, so on and so forth. So they still haven't blocked the chat, made an announcement, pulled the plug, even though the contract balance, as you can see here on Dune Analytics, is $2, so aka drained completely. So same principle, I'm gonna dig into their on-chain data, just label out a few things, but I'm not gonna conclude straight away that this is a blatant scam because they're also doing a few things apparently now. They wanna refund a bit or something that I checked Telegram recently and I saw something on their channel where they wanna do this apparently in batches. So, but many of these claim that they wanna do that, they end up not doing so for some reason, so to speak. So this is what we're going to be talking about, basically putting the roadmap of how this project started and where it's at right now. Alright, so I'm going to take you from the beginning, from inception of this project, just to label the contracts, show the money flow, how much money remains, because if you've seen the previous video, you know the drill. It always starts from the staking contract, then the DEF wallet, then they wash it out into a shady exchange, and then they try to take some money out. And then most of it will stay there because it will remain untracked unless you can figure out the source of the fund. But as they would complicate the ins and outs, then you get confused at some point. But let's retrace everything from the get-go. Alright, so like I said, going back to the original point of application of the Myst contract. So you have the original contract, that is the staking contract where people enter and put their money in. Now this one is actually a bit different from the other two. The principle of AI trading bot is the same, but this one actually but prefers to have a token with it. It's also called, it's the Myst token, MXST, something like that. And the ownership of this token would actually give you the advantage of paying less fees upon entering. So it's 3% at the beginning. If you own a certain amount of token, you can deposit more BUSD and you pay up to, I think, so from 3%, you can scale down to 2%, something like that. Now, that aside, principle is the same. It's a 2% a day type of protocol. Like I said, up to 2% type of day type of protocol. And originally there was about 951,000 BUSD that was taken from the staking contract, so from the deposits, and I'm gonna refer to the deposits again because in total there were about, I think, 4 million in deposits. So assuming that almost one fourth of this, not assuming actually, this is what happened on chain, went to the DEF contract. Now, like I said, this is a very normal practice. The DEF contract is collecting fees, correct? So that 2 to 3%, and those transfers are going through that DEF contract address all the way to the exchange that we're gonna mention now. So, but it doesn't get sent directly there. There's actually a route that it takes. So that 951K from that DEF wallet was actually split in essence, but not the whole amount, by the way, because if you make the math, so there's 540,750 went to one wallet and 370K went to another one. And if you calculate the difference, there's about 40K between whatever that wallet took and whatever was sent out to the exchange after, going through these two wallets that you can see right here. And we're gonna also talk about where this 40K lies right now. And there's also about 146.4K that was also sent, that also went through one of these two wallets from a wallet that I honestly could not identify 100%. So this could be related to the Myst token, the pre-sale. It also has style to a pre-sale address, or it also could be a dev wallet. Now, if someone knows what is this wallet address, please let me know, because it has the same amount of transactions, almost the same amount of transactions as the dev wallet. So the link is pretty clear here. And not only that, and there's also more money that was sent out to the exchange wallet. As you can see, that 146.4K was indeed sent out to this wallet, but there's also 279.4K that was sent out directly to the exchange wallet. All right, so now you have two flows from this wallet, and then all of these three amounts, 146, 540, 370, they went through these two wallets, and then the full bucket of 1.05 million went to the exchange wallet. And there is also two more inflows going back from the dev wallet, 20K. So that's the 40K difference, you see. So the 40K difference, 20K of that 40K went directly to BitGert. So that is the exchange wallet that I'm talking about. And then there is 5K, sorry, that went from another wallet. Now, here's the other dilemma. That other wallet is technically in ties with that wallet that I mentioned that I cannot identify it, sorry, at the beginning. So 05 E4C. It has ties to it because there are exchanges between the two, but the exact liaison between these two wallets is something that I could not recover. And so in the next step of this video, I'm gonna go back to my Excel sheets and show you how the complications happen, because there are so many proxy wallets involved that you're honestly gonna get lost. Here are my nice Excel tabs. Now, honestly, if you wanna go through all of these transactions in details, this is more than a one-person job, and I'm just one man. I try to map the headlines, so to speak, but internally there are so many internal transactions. So I hope whatever I'm, pulling out right now really helps in the broader investigation of all of this. So the first tab here, I'm not going to stress too much because I've covered this, how the inflows happen from the staking contract through the dev wallet, through the exchange wallet, so to speak. And this part right here, even though I labeled it and I put it together, this is not something I'm most probably going to get into so much later on, because those are, this is money that was sent out from the dev wallet to several recipients, as you can see, random wallets, other projects, so to speak. But this is not something that, in my opinion, concerns us too much, because if you match out the total of these transactions or of these recipients, that's about 100K, which if I go back to this tab right here, matches exactly, or almost exactly, the staking fees, because if you think about it, those staking fees are the devs to keep at the end of the day. Those were the rules at the beginning of the game, because like I said, I call these games. So you cannot really, dig deeper into this. You have no right, none of us have any right to actually account these dev fees, so to speak, where they go. He or she, they can send them wherever they want. So that's why I'm not gonna get into this. And like I said, I mentioned these numbers, right? So those were almost all the deposits that were happening, meaning the obligations were, based on the deposits that were originally sent out. And the profit injections that we're gonna discuss right now are literally the product of the amount of money that was sent out from the dev wallet, meaning through the dev wallet from the original staking contract to that exchange wallet. Now, there's always the debate of where this money came from. Was it the original principle of the money being sent out, or there were actual profits that were generated from trading? Now, before I go into my line of thoughts, the conclusion here is, And again, I'm not gonna basically put a point of whether this is a scam, this is a rug pull. I'm gonna leave it to the audience to decide if this is something that isn't supposed to be happening. I'm not gonna label it, but I'm gonna say that all of this is too shady for someone to enter. So, to sum it all up, all of the money that was sent out to this Bitgird address, 1.4 million's worth, about 453.4k was injected back into the staking contract. So that leaves us with about 935k unaccounted for. So this money by all means can still be on that wallet, on that exchange, or washed out to other exchanges. Nobody really knows. Now again, by the time of doing this video and by the time I publish it, these numbers can fluctuate, more money can come in, and like I said, they want to do right by the community apparently, so they might actually give some money back to investors, but I'm sure they're gonna give a bit of this money and keep most of it to themselves. One thing I also have a problem with, and I wanted to chime this in the middle somewhere, is that all the profits that were injected back were actually staked. So not just sent to the contract, but staked, meaning they are gonna follow the rules of the staking platform. What this means is, in essence, what they're doing is that they're monopolizing the contract at some point because their stake is more than 10% of the obligation, so to speak, so the whole amount deposited. They are generating that fees in return, so they're taking some of this money back for themselves, and they didn't turn off deposits, so if anything is deposited, they will front run all the rewards that would be generated for other users. So that is something that I didn't like at all, and this also goes into the category of things that were being done in a very shady manner. So I would add this up on the pile of shadiness that we've already been seeing. But that's my opinion, alright? So again, I am here putting the information out there, and every person can judge for themselves if this is actually a scam or this is actually something that these guys are doing. So if their product is real. But before I leave you with my final thoughts, I just left these tabs open because just to show you how complicated these guys and how, or more so how they wanted to confuse everyone with all of these proxy contracts. So that's the contract that I couldn't recognize. You can trace transactions back to this one, which is also another account related to this address right here, which is also something that I'm not sure of. And then if you tie this address to other stuff, you can clearly see that there was money invested, let's say in drip, and here there's money invested in something called generator token, whatever that means. And those are the funds that were funneled from that original wallet to Bitgird at the end of the day. So those are the 280k if you count them up, so on and so forth. So it's all pretty confusing for something that should be so simple. Nobody goes through length in order to hide things if they want something to be as honest, as simplistic as possible. So at the end of the day, the takeaway here is that they still have a lot of money that they didn't account for. There's no on-chain presence of any trades as usual. No one expected that to happen. And think about this for a second. If someone actually found an algorithm that would constantly make money, wouldn't that be a product that would be sold for billions to giants like BlackRock, for example? Why would you make this available to a community of degens where they would invest 100, 200, 300 bucks on average, when you can make billions, if proven of course, with other giant hedge funds? Yeah, so there's that. Alright, thank you for sticking around till the end. I hope all the information that I have labeled today would help out further investigations if they happen. Now, if they make refunds, that's awesome. If they don't, it was expected. So yeah, thank you for being here. See you in the next one. Have a good one.